So obviously today is not going to be a makeup video. Obviously by the title of this video. Let me lock my door really quick. And I'm sorry that if you can hear my fan, it's really hot and I don't have the air on, so that's why the fan is on. But I thought I would come on to YouTube, I guess. I would make a video about this because a lot of people always ask me, like, sorry if my voice is kind of weird too. A lot of people ask me why I decided to become a vegan. And I thought I would just kind of go off the top of my head. I was gonna write down some notes on my phone, but it died, so it's charging right now. Whoa. Sorry. So veganism has honestly changed my life, and I know it sounds so vague and like cliche in a sense, because I know, you know, a lot of people will be like, oh well, this literally changed my life, but it really did. It changed my life for the better. I feel like I became more aware, more, in a sense, woke. I became more sensitive to a lot of things that I didn't feel for before being a vegan. And it was truly something that I never thought that I could do, but throughout that period of transitioning from becoming, you know, from being a meat eater in general to changing into a vegan, meaning not eating anything that contained any animal byproducts or, you know, contributed to cruelty in general, really just changes your mindset on things, and life in general, you know, and it's really has changed my life, and I'm glad that I did change or transition into becoming a vegan. Also, I'm not wearing makeup, so I mean, I have my eyebrows on because I am going to film a makeup tutorial later, but I thought, like, well, might as well come on camera somewhat raw and, yeah, just speak to you about veganism and what being a vegan is to me. I guess I should just answer some frequently asked questions that I get all the time, like, not even kidding, like all the time. So the first one is basically, why did I become a vegan? And you know what, I'm gonna be honest, like, I wasn't straight off the bat a vegan. I started as a pescatarian, and then once I got tired of fish, I literally completely took everything out, all seafood, everything that contained, you know, any animals. Well, I mean, yeah, I literally just switched from being a pescatarian to a vegetarian. And then I was a vegetarian for quite some time, almost a year and a half, maybe 2 years I was a vegetarian. And, you know, at that point I was very, very aware as far as what went on in the farm industry, I guess you could call it. Sorry, my head is super out of it today. I'm super out of it, and I have a lot of things on my mind, so bear with me. But that, just like the agriculture, or like, I don't know what word I'm looking for. I'll put it here if I remember. You know, once I became aware of the fact that dairy in a sense was still contributing to the slaughter of many animals, I had to really come to terms with myself and be like, is eating cheese, is eating ice cream or anything like that really worth, you know, is it really worth you eating these things that contributes to, you know, animal slaughter and, you know, these poor innocent beings being killed for basically human pleasure and greed and selfishness. And you know, I was a vegetarian for so long that you know, I definitely was not feeling the best. And at that time, sorry, my phone's going off. Now it's on. I was not feeling the healthiest, although I felt like I should have been, because I was a vegetarian, and you know, being plant-based is probably the best thing you could do for your life, and it is. But at that moment, I was not feeling the best, and I know it's because I was eating a lot of dairy products. So I felt like cheese at that time was very like a comfort zone for me. Like, yes, I'm not eating any animals, but then I still have cheese. But I knew that this was initially like contributing to the slaughter of like millions of animals. So I'm sorry, sorry, ew, ow. I got my green tea right here. I think it's kind of dark. The lighting changed a little bit. Where was I? Oh yeah, so at that moment I knew that I had to really switch up my diet. And the thing is that it wasn't the fact that I was feeling ill, it's because I started feeling guilty, like extremely guilty for contributing to the murder and slaughter of animals. And oh yeah, I forgot to tell you why I went plant-based. And it was for the animals. It was nonetheless for any of the health benefits, because truly I didn't even really know about the health benefits of becoming plant-based. And it was just solely because of, you know, maybe like 2 or 3 videos I saw on Instagram, and they were very brutal and cruel videos that I saw. And you know, I didn't need a ton of videos for me to become convinced into becoming a vegetarian or just plant-based in general. But you know, I was very uneducated as to how to maintain a healthy plant-based diet. So at the time, I lived in Austin for, I was already a vegetarian, and then I lived in Austin for like 2 months with my friend. And it was not good. I gained a lot of weight. I gained I would say like around 5 to 10 pounds, really, because I was eating so bad. I wasn't eating the correct foods, meaning like the nutrient dense, healthy plant foods, like whole foods. Like I was not eating that. I was eating cheese pizza, I was eating grilled cheese, I was eating fries with cheese, I was eating just a ton of shit that I shouldn't have been eating, but I didn't know. You know, I mean, I knew, like, obviously I knew it was bad food, but I was just indulging. And at that time, I just felt really, really sick. Like, I just felt really bloated. I felt constipated. I know that's a lot of info, but it's true. Like, when your body, when there's something wrong with your body, it is going to tell you. It's going to let you know. And I was really tired. Although I was taking all my B12 supplements, I was taking all the supplements that, am I in focus? I hope I am. I hope I am. Okay. You know, I was taking all the supplements that I needed to initially take, as I really was taking everything that I needed to take as a vegan, and I still felt really shitty. And you know, after a while I decided, like, okay, I'm not making any progress in the gym. I'm looking worse than I did before I was a vegetarian, and my skin is not acting the way I want it to act. So I really had to take change, and I was like, well, the only possible way of becoming my ultimate healthy self is to become a vegan. And you know, it was really hard. It was really hard for me to maintain a vegan diet at the beginning because of cheese. But initially it was something that, you know, I'm so happy that I did, because I immediately started seeing change in my body once I eliminated dairy and the rest of any animal byproducts that I was still consuming at that time. But it was mainly cheese that was really messing me up. Like, it was just, it's funny because before I was a vegetarian or even a pescatarian, I wasn't a huge fan of cheese. Like, I didn't care for cheese or dairy in general, but after, I was like, I need cheese. Cheese is my life. And it was for quite some time. But yeah, I'm glad I got rid of it, because it's so bad for you. It's so bad. And I think also one thing that kept me motivated when you know, transitioning into being a vegan is the fact that I was supplementing myself with a ton of knowledge and information about veganism and how it can initially heal viruses, heal diseases, and yeah, I mean, it was very exciting for me to keep reading about things that I didn't know, learning more about this step in life that I decided to take for myself, and it was very exciting. I'm still learning to this day how to basically eat in order to achieve my goals, which is basically to put on more muscle in the gym, and I have with a vegan diet. And like, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, I'm not trying to be cocky or anything like that, but I have looked the best in my whole life ever since becoming a vegan. And obviously there's other things that go hand in hand with being physically at your how can I say this? Just looking your best, in a sense. Like drinking water, taking the supplements you need to take as far as like B12 or, you know, protein and whatnot. And oh, I look like a ghost. Whatever. But it's really cool stepping out of your comfort zone and learning how to basically grow, in a sense, as far as like learning more things, learning new things, learning things that you didn't know about, and just really putting into work. And I think one thing that I learned about being a vegan is patience. I'm usually a patient person. And veganism has taught me to be patient, not only with myself, but with the process of life. It also has shown me dedication, because initially you do need to be dedicated to not only the diet itself, but the lifestyle. It is a lifestyle, and I know I'm never going to go back to eating meat. Never. Like, I'm never going to become a meat eater ever again in my life. And I really take pride in that. And a lot of people may think that I'm crazy, or going to be like, well, what if you want to have a baby? Or what if something happens to you that you need to be eating enough iron throughout the day? And I'm just like, I've researched so much things that none of those things scare me, and it is absolutely possible to have a baby while being vegan, to cure diseases by eating a vegan diet. I've done it before, and it's just like you can't doubt what God has put on this earth for us to eat. There is this quote by I believe Socrates, and it says, "Let food be thy medicine," and it's absolutely true. If you are having an absolutely horrible time with your, I'm not even speaking correctly. If you are absolutely having any health issues as of late, my toilet. Look into it. Look into foods that can initially help you heal yourself rather than going to the doctor or taking a bunch of medications. I mean, it's so much easier. It's cheaper, and you feel better about yourself because you know what you are putting into your body as far as food, nutrients, positivity, and stuff like that. Me, I haven't been to the doctor in a long time, and if you know me personally, I used to get sick all the time. I was sick almost every 3 weeks. I was sick all the time. I would go to the doctor because I had strep throat. I had strep throat. I would get sick. I would get upper respiratory infections. I would get sinus infections. I would get bronchitis, and I was just constantly sick. But it's because I never took care of myself. I never drank enough water. I wasn't eating the correct foods. And see, you need to research these types of things because it's not out there. It's not out there for us to see blatantly in society. You know, society has these very narrow-minded views on being able to help yourself. And I'm not bashing any medical research or doctors or anything like that, but it's very, very important that you do research on your own as far as how you can help yourself before heading to a doctor, if that makes sense. I know this video is super random and jumbled and kind of with random facts, but it's just everything that's just coming through my head, so sorry if it's a little confusing. But yeah, I haven't been to the doctor in such a long time, minus, you know, my OBGYN, because, you know, that's kind of different. I can't look in there by myself. But, yeah, so, I haven't been to the doctor in a long time. My deductible for my insurance is very high because I haven't gone to the doctor. Yeah, every time that I start feeling a little cold coming on, or if I'm starting to feel, you know, some type of sickness, I will research foods that I initially need to eat in order to help cure myself, in order to help, you know, get better quicker. It's just all about research. It's all about having to just really get in tune with your body. And I feel like being a vegan has also made me extremely open to my spirituality and just cleansing my soul and being a very, trying to be a very positive person in very dark times, if that makes sense. You know, I think if you have ever had any, you know, speculations or, you know, doubts about becoming a vegan, it's incredibly natural to have those doubts in your mind because it's something new and it's something that a lot of people bash about and a lot of people are very unsure, not only because of the way society has created a, I guess you could say a very negative outlook towards it, but now it's changing a lot, which is amazing. And you know, I'm so glad that I was able to not necessarily jump on the bandwagon of being a vegan because I don't feel like veganism is a trend. Although I've seen a lot of people call it a trend, and like I have mixed emotions about that, because I'm like, okay, veganism, if it is a trend, it is an amazing trend, and I am happy that if anybody is following this trend. But initially it is a lifestyle, and it does take dedication, and it does take a very strong mindset in order to become a vegan, because not only will you hear and feel retaliation, not retaliation, let me use the correct term, feel negativity from people who don't understand what you are standing for, but you will also just need to be mentally strong and realize the reasons why you are not participating in eating foods that are necessarily not the best for us. And I say that with all my all. And I you know, I'm gonna receive a lot of, like, not backlash, but a lot of, you know, not so good feedback, I know, from saying that, because a lot of people still feel like eating meat is necessarily the best thing for you, and to me it's not, but I am entitled to my own opinion. I have done my own research. I have seen incredible changes in my body and in my life from becoming a vegan, so that is my opinion. One thing I do want to say is I'm not bashing meat eaters at all, because I was a meat eater. I ate meat. I used to love eating chicken wings, but I do think that it does take a very strong mindset to become a vegan. And also it does take a lot of emotional strength as well. And I think that because you do have to come to terms that you initially are going to be seeing a lot of bad things that happen to these poor innocent animals, but in a sense it will help you realize that being a vegan is making a change in the world. And one thing someone told me at a time was, do you think that just because you as an individual, just you're making a change in the world by being a vegan? And I was like, well, first of all, that was really mean. And second of all, yes, I do feel like me as an individual, having the platform I have, promoting veganism, is initially going to change people. And I'm not trying to change people, let me reword that, but I do want to bring awareness to the fact that not only is the slaughtering of these animals insanely cruel and brutal and unnecessary, but it is initially ruining our environment. It is killing the people we love because of the way that these poor animals are living. There's this meat, this chicken, this fish, and this beef is horrible. It's contaminated with numerous diseases that obviously the FDA and the government are not going to tell you about. That's a whole different story. I don't want to really touch on that, because that's kind of like, you can research that on your own, but it's not good for you. It's really not good for you. And if you don't believe me, watch What the Health. You'll see it for yourself. There's numerous documentaries on Netflix that you can watch that will help you realize that participating in this type of behavior is not the best for us. And yeah, I mean, I always get a ton of questions asking, well, how do I become a vegan? asking me like, well, how do I become vegan? Like, it's so hard, I don't know what to eat. I feel sick every time that I eat vegan or try and eat vegan, and at the end of the day I try and help everyone as much as possible. But I think some tips I could give you all are, give me 1 second, my camera's gonna die. I'm just gonna speak until, and I turn off my fan, so I'm pretty sure you can hear me a little bit better now. Because I just reviewed my video right now and I'm like, oh my god, you can barely hear me, but oh well. I'm still gonna post it because it's a lot of good things that I said, I think. Oh yeah, so tips on trying to become more or just trying to eat more plant-based in general is, first of all, research what it is that you can supplement yourself for. Obviously vitamins. A lot of people take this misconception that they're not going to get enough iron, they're not going to get enough protein, they're not going to get enough B12, but in a sense a lot of meat eaters as well are very deficient in B12, and a lot of people think that just because you eat meat you are initially full of B12, and you're not. You need to do your research. But B12 is something that is very important in the human diet, not only in the human diet but also in an animal's diet. So make sure that you are researching before you totally jump the gun and begin a vegan diet. It's very easy to become a vegan when you know what to eat, when you know what to kind of expect, in a sense. Use a lot of us as an example, people who did like trial and error, people who really didn't know what they were doing, like myself, and just jumped into it without doing enough research. And I'm not saying like don't jump into it because of not knowing, but I would suggest that. I would suggest to do your research and make sure that you are eating correctly, meaning you're eating a lot of whole foods, yeah, whole plant foods, there you go, I can't speak. Whole plant foods, because that's initially going to give you all the nutrients you need from a vegan diet. A lot of people misconceive the fact that a lot of things are vegan, but are they the healthiest? No, they're not. For me, I try and veer away from a lot of processed vegan foods, meaning like fake vegan meats. Yeah, mainly fake vegan meats and all that stuff. I mean, some of those things are amazing, especially when you are transitioning into a vegan diet. It is also, it's crazy because it is psychological. So if you see that this plant-based meat is on your plate, you're initially going to be thinking like, oh, it's meat, like I feel good, I'm still eating meat. But you're not, and it's really cool that you can supplement yourself with those fake meats to help you transition. Obviously, would I rather you eat those than real meat? Definitely, without a doubt. They are completely, they're like 60, no, I would say like they're 100 times more healthier than eating meat in general, because of the just the ingredients in it, you know what I mean? Like, would you rather be eating a dead carcass or you know, of faux meats that contain nothing but plant-based ingredients? I mean, you know what I would choose. But, and I hope I don't get any like stupid comments like, oh, I would choose the dead carcass because I love bacon. Shut up. Like, that doesn't faze me, honestly. It really doesn't. But if you're gonna leave that, you're gonna get blocked. Sorry. But yeah, I would say do your research, make sure that you are eating correctly, and you know, it's all about trial and error. It really is. And I know I said that, leave it to the people who did that, but you know, transitioning from the all-American diet is initially very psychologically challenging, because you want to be eating like that because it tastes good, but it's not the best for you. You just got to keep putting it in your mentality, or in your mental space, that these things are not good for you, and these things were made to satisfy you but not supplement you with the correct nutrients. So yeah, make sure you're eating the correct amounts of food, carbohydrates, veggies, micronutrients, macronutrients, protein. A lot of people also do have a misconception that people can be initially protein deficient, and that is 100% not true. Us as humans do not need a certain amount. I mean, we do need a certain amount of protein a day to function correctly, but we do not need a surplus of protein in order to be healthy. But I do say this: if you are trying to gain muscle, or you're trying to gain size, protein is something that you do need to consider. Is it impossible to reach a protein goal a day being on a vegan diet? No, absolutely not. It's not. Believe me, because I'm doing it right now. You are going to have to supplement yourself. You're going to have to eat a little bit more. You're going to have to, you know, maybe take a protein powder here and there. But for me, I'm going through a pretty rough patch right now, so it's very hard for me to have an appetite. So protein powders, in a sense, are kind of like saving me right now, as far as like, you know, making sure that I am getting calories in and protein in, because I'm just initially just drinking my calories. I mean, I'm still eating, obviously. I'm eating full meals, but as of late, it's just been really hard for me to eat a lot like I usually do, or just eat like more full meals, in a sense. So if you have that problem, or if you feel like you're going to be protein deficient, you're not. But if you do want to gain size, gain muscle, you might want to consider protein a little bit more. You know, maybe obtain or consume a little bit more protein on a daily, so you can see more changes. And that's what I've been doing, and I've been seeing a lot of changes, and I'm really happy about that. Second tip for becoming a vegan is, do not be ignorant. Do not be ignorant to the fact that animals are dying, and they are dying because of us. To me, I have realized that God did not put us on this earth to kill, hurt anyone else, especially those who do not have a voice, like animals. And if you are very sensitive to the fact that, you know, animals are being murdered every single day for our consumption, then take that and run with it. You know, like, use that as a driving source of fuel for you to keep initially staying on a plant-based diet. For me, that was my fuel. That was the reason why I decided to become a vegan and stay a vegan, because I am very caring towards animals. I mean, I'm a very caring person in general, and yeah, I'm a very selfless person too, but yeah, that's what made me change and become a vegan and stay a vegan, was basically the animals. I could not fathom the thought of becoming, or being a hypocrite in general, you know, having, you know, my furry little critters here at my house, loving them to the fullest, and then, you know, eating a fucking cheeseburger. Like, I saw something on Twitter when I was on Twitter. It said, how can you be an animal lover if you are eating animals? And that just, like, my head just like bursted. I was like, whoa. I was like, oh my god, I'm a hypocrite. Like, I'm a fucking hypocrite, you know? And I really did take that to heart, and I still keep it in me because it's true. Like, if you are truly an animal lover, you will not contribute to any cruelty against any animal on this earth. You know, I've taken veganism so to heart that I will not even kill a bug. Something so small, like even an ant. I will not kill an ant because I do believe that every life on this earth is precious, and we should appreciate them for their purpose in this ecosystem, because every little thing that is on this earth has a purpose. And I think a lot of people need to realize that and spiritually awaken themselves to see that too, you know what I mean? Oh, one thing you're gonna expect when being a vegan is being called a hippie all the fucking time. And I mean, I'm cool with that. Hippies are cool. I mean, but it's like, dude, I have a cat. I have like, never mind, whatever. Third tip would be it would be, if you are on social media, which you probably are, I would follow a lot of vegan pages to, you know, keep reminding you like why you're doing this, like why it's important to dedicate yourself to something, not only just veganism, but just to dedicate yourself to something. But follow a lot of vegan pages that will give you the information that you need, that will show you easy recipes to make online, and just things like that. Like, follow a lot of vegan informational pages. That way you are constantly reminded, like, that way you are constantly, oh my god, I'm just gonna die. That way you're constantly reminded of why you are becoming a vegan and why it is important to you. Would I follow pages that initially show a lot of cruelty to animals? I mean, it's solely up to you. To me, I do follow pages like that, but it's because they're informational pages. And if I remember, I'll put some pages down below that you guys can follow that have really helped me succeed in veganism and in my fitness goals, and just keep up with animal welfare and like the news in there. So I'll put some if I remember. I'll also put some documentary links too, that way you can watch it. But yeah, I mean, and was that my third tip? Oh yeah, my fourth tip is just to constantly remind yourself why you're doing it, whether it be for the health benefits, whether it be for the animals, whether it be for the ethical reasons, or just any reason why you're doing it. Just remind yourself why you're doing it, because that's going to keep you going forward. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I feel like maybe I touched on everything that I've been wanting to talk about. If you guys want me to do another video that is more in-depth as far as maybe food, what I eat, anything, let me know and I'll film another video like this. But this is just basically my thoughts on veganism and being a vegan, and it's very jumbled, but if you stayed throughout this whole video, thank you. Filming this video has made me feel so much better. I've been really in a dark place as far as viewing myself, so thank you. But yeah, if you liked this video, I mean, you know what to do, right? But yeah, let me know if you guys want me to film other videos like this, because this was really expressive and I feel really good now. So yeah, let me know if y'all want to see another one.